It turns out, surprisingly, that the grass is not always greener on the other side of the Iron Curtain. We've been profiling these American MAGA families that have decided to give up on America, to turn away from woke, and to head over to Russia, and almost universally does not turn out to be the conservative paradise that they thought it was. And so we have another family that we want to profile here. This is the Hares family. So this photo comes courtesy of the Russian Interior Ministry, where you can see them holding up their new registration documents. All 5 of them are being drafted into the military and sent to the front lines in Ukraine. I'm kidding. Those are their new passports. Other Americans have been sent to the front lines. But anyway, they are themselves on a pretty dire situation, if not that dire. See, they've apparently been tragically scammed out of their life savings by one of their new countrymen. But before we jump into all that, let's talk about why they made the decision to leave America, because perhaps you and your family are considering leaving. They say they had been considering leaving the US for some time. The Texas climate was becoming drier for some reason. Nobody knows why, I guess. And increasing numbers of bobcats and coyotes threatened their birds. That actually sounds bad. However, what troubled the Hares most was what they saw as the growing influence of the LGBT agenda in the US. Their 3 sons attended public school for only a year before they began homeschooling them, saying there were too many lesbians in their school. We prayed a lot for America to change, but it didn't. What follow-up question? How do you know that there's too many lesbians in their school? What are you going around just being like, I don't like her hair color, I think she's a lesbian? I don't know. Why was the dad convinced about the sexuality of a bunch of these teen girls? I don't know. What did he find in the son's browser histories? I don't know. But the final straw was when we found out that my daughter Sophia learned about lesbians from a girl in her class. She didn't fully understand it, but for us, that was enough to realize something had to change. So to be very clear, it's not that like a woke teacher told their daughter about lesbians, just another kid mentioned lesbians, and that's it. So we gotta go to Russia where there are no lesbians, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how the thinking works. So they led, and I wanna remind everyone, they weren't in LA, they were in Texas and it wasn't woke enough for them. But it also was not just the lesbians. They also said, as a white family, we were being told we're racist and we weren't given the same opportunities because of the color of our skin. In Texas. Okay, fine. So they go to Russia. And initially things seem to be going pretty well. They send back these video updates and state media's profiling them. They're eating food, reindeer dumplings and borscht and bellinis and all that stuff. Eventually they wanted to exchange their dollars in cryptocurrency because of course they're in a cryptocurrency for rubles so they could purchase a house in Russia. So then at some point, they have this guy who suggests an opportunity, to the son to resell Chinese trucks in Russia and then do real estate deals or whatever. And so apparently this guy had an aura of honesty and decency, which turns out not to have been the case. They handed over nearly $50,000, nearly all of their savings, and evidently the guy stole all of it. And that sucks. And then they went to the police and they accused the guy of fraud. And it was dismissed for lack of evidence, even though they had a big paper trail of all the agreements that were made, but the police didn't care, maybe because they side with the Russian in this case, rather than the American that's come over and that's already been used up for propaganda purposes. And so that sucks. And now I think the wife posted a video on YouTube saying if anybody can share this with Putin, and if he can help us somehow get our money back, everything will be fine. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I don't think the people in the comments know Putin and I don't think Putin cares. And so I feel bad for this family. Nobody should be treated this way, but I don't know, at a certain point, there seems to be a pattern to these stories. Maybe Russia's not the paradise you think. Sabrina, what do you think?
I didn't even realize that multiple families were doing this move from the US to Russia. I've seen a few stories of the man who got drafted after moving to Russia, but I have not seen this one yet. I think it's so funny that, they're calling upon their community to help them get Putin's attention of all people, as if he's gonna care.
Yeah.
I think they're learning that things are not like they are in the US. And I don't know what they expected. I wonder if they're going to move back. With what money? I don't know. But yeah, their
Yeah.
reasons for leaving are so silly. And yeah, maybe if they had just stayed in Texas, which was probably the best environment for them, perhaps they would still have all of their money in their savings.
I know. It's just it's really sad. I don't. Apparently, they're considering like I don't know. The kids want to leave, but the parents still don't. They still like it. Like
Gosh,
I feel bad
poor
for the
kids.
kids because like this, they're not in charge of their destiny in this particular case. Apparently, like they have no plans right now, even after Trump won. Like they supported him. It's Texas, and you have Trump, and it's not anti-gay enough for you. That seems really strange. Also, the idea that Vladimir Putin is going to care about fraud, do they not realize that Vladimir Putin, like some people make the case that secretly he is the richest man in the world because of the hundreds of billions of dollars he stole from Russia. I don't think he's going to care about your $48,000 or rubles or whatever. I don't think he's going to be on your side. Maybe if you're lucky, you can crowdfund enough money for the plane tickets to return to America. And if you get that, I would consider yourself lucky.
You want them to
Anyway,
ask for handouts, John?
I know,
What?
I know.
That's socialism. They
That's
would
pretty
never
woke.
do that.
No, not at all.